Sahana vavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavadhitamastu mavid vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham. So yesterday we saw Yajnavalkya Maharishi advising his wife or instructing his wife, saying, Are, my dear one, Avinashiva, I am Atma iti. This Atma, the self, is Avinashi, will never perish. Prabhaviti avinashitvam vinashyatsu vikarishu. And this one self is that which will not perish amidst all that is changing and perishing. So this is Shruti Vakyam. It is Upanishad Vakyam. So therefore this is the truth. The self, the true self, will never perish. And what will perish? In the fire of the knowledge, all the Drishya Padartha, all the Upadhis, they are burnt. As the stone or the tree or the straw, all these things are burnt to ashes. These Anatma Vastu, this Drishya Padartha, is as if burnt. Meaning what? In the highest self, there is nothing except the self. Where has it gone? Nobody knows. Because initially it was only imagined. Therefore, when the knowledge dawns, the imagination is removed. So you see only the self as it is. So till this point we have seen. Till the point of 564th verse we have seen. Now moving on to the 565th verse. Vilakshanam yata dvantam liyate bhanu tejasi tathaiva sakalam drishyam brahmani praviliyate. Vilakshanam yatha dvantam liyate bhanu tejasi tathaiva sakalam drishyam brahmani praviliyate. This darkness, dvantam means this darkness, is vilakshanam, is distinctly different from light. Is that not so? So, bhanu tejasi, in the effulgence of the sun, all this darkness, liyate, it disappears. Liyate means what? Sometimes it is said it is merged. but the actual meaning is it disappears. Similarly, tatha eva sakalam drishyam, all that which you have seen in the state of ignorance, brahmani praviliyate, in that experience of that absolute Brahman, everything disappears. So, Tirumular says in Tirumandiram, Marattai maraitadu maamadayane, Marattil maraindadu maamadayane. Parattai maraitadu parmudal budam, Parattil maraindadu parmudal budam. Meaning, I told you the other day, there was an elephant made of stone, or let us say wood. So, when you see the elephant, you can't see the wood, and you are scared about the elephant. When you see the wood, where has the elephant gone? It has gone as if into the wood. Meaning, the beauty is when you are realized that which has been obscuring the self, par mudal budam, the panchabhutas, now which is obscuring the self, when the truth is revealed, they as if merge in the self, or they disappear, because we have been imagining. Parattai maraitadu parmudal budam. So this parmudal budam, the panchabhutas were obscuring the self, as if. So when the truth is realized, where is the panchabhuta gone? We don't know. So it is said it was never ever there. We have been only imagining. Swamiji, can you imagine fire? If you touch it, it burns. Is that not so? From the absolute standpoint, it is all imagined. Because the absolute is devoid of any difference, such as the experiencer and experienced. So whatever is experienced is considered to be just imagination from the highest standpoint. You should understand this. See, you cannot argue that fire is an imagination, so you jump into it. You are also an imagination. The jumping also is an imagination. So from the absolute standpoint, whatever is perceived as other than the self is all false, not the truth. Because the absolute standpoint, there is only one self, which is changeless, which will not perish, and which is the same always. So when that intense experience is there, in that experience, everything else becomes nothing. Nothing means what? Very insignificant. So therefore the self alone is the truth, is established through Shruti Vakyam and also through the Yukti, logic and reasoning. Now moving on to the 566th verse. Ghate nashte yata vyoma vyomaiva bhavati sputam tathaivopadhi vilaye brahmaiva brahma vitsvayam ghate nashte yata vyoma vyomaiva bhavati sputam tathaivopadhi vilaye brahmaiva brahma vitsvayam ghate nashte, when the pot is broken, ghate, ghata means pot, mud pot, let us say. When that is broken, nashte, yatha vyoma vyomaiva bhavati. The pot space, which is inside the pot, it becomes what? The space, or the universal space, or the space, bhavati, sputam. This is very clear. See, actually you do not even break it. If you know it, that the space is one, which cannot be conditioned by the pot, that itself is enough. But, to explain and also for the all practical purposes, it is explained this way, expressed this way. What is that? When the pot is broken or when the pot idea is taken away, then what remains is a space. which is the universal space. Is that not so? Similarly, tatha eva upadhi vilaye. When the upadhis, the conditionings of the body, mind, etc., vilaye, when they vanish, when they disappear, brahmaiva brahmavit swayam. This brahmavit, the knower of the Brahman, he becomes Brahman only. See, this is the glory of Brahma Vidya or Atma Vidya. Other sciences, when you know that, you will not become that. Thank God. But here, when you know yourself, you become yourself, or you are the self. If you know Brahman, you become Brahman. Brahman means what? Which is the adhishthanam, which is substratum for everything. So, when you know this, you become that. You become what? The infinite, absolute, non-dual Brahman, which is Ananda Swarupa, and which will not change, which will not perish. So what happens to the upadhi then, body, mind then? It was imagined earlier, now it is no more imagined. What happened to that snake vision in the rope? You have been thinking it is a snake, but what was it? Actually innocent rope. So when you realize that it is just a rope, what happened to the snake vision? Where has it gone? Just disappeared, meaning it was never ever there. But you imagine to be a snake. Who can help if you have imagined to be a snake? You cannot complain. You cannot blame the rope for that. Can you blame the rope for that? No. So you have imagined it. So when you stop imagining, when you know the truth, then what happens? The snake vision disappears. Similarly, can you imagine the body, the mind, the world, whichever we have considered to be other than the self, everything just disappears. And then the truth alone shines. And the truth is the truth, self of all. So that alone shines. So this is the majesty of the self-realization. Having known which, there is nothing remains to be known. There remains nothing to be known. So that is the absolute knowledge. So here, though it is said, when the gata is broken, nashte, we need not break or we need not kill ourselves, this body. Just if we understand that this body is not me, I am the self, then everything is done. Don't worry. After that also you will have a body, mind. After also you will have your wife, children. You will have your house, you will have property. Everything that remains the same. என்ன சுவாமி திருப்பி இப்படி சொல்றீங்க? But everything is self. You will realize everything is self. How? Don't howl. How? Why? How? No, you go and see how it is. It is a secret which cannot be revealed. Why? It's not that it should not be revealed. Even if you reveal it, people can't understand. That's why it is a secret. You 100 times you tell the same thing, the mind cannot understand. Because it is in the ignorance. You have to go and see how it is. So one way it is said, everything disappears. And then other way it is said, everything is self. So which is truth? Both is truth. Everything remains a self means what? Self alone shines, and everything shines as a self, and nothing remains other than the self. Not even a bit. Neha nanasti kinchana. Because nothing can rise other than the knowledge in the ocean of consciousness. How else it can rise? Please think about it. So ocean and the waves both are water only. Similarly, the absolute knowledge or the objective knowledge, though you may think it is different, but it is one only. It is knowledge only. So all these things revealed when you abide in the self. Till you don't abide, always there is a missing link, always there are doubts. Okay, now moving on to the next verse, 567. Kshiram kshire yata kshiptam.
Kshiram kshire yatha kshiptam.
Tailam taile jalam jale.
Tailam taile jalam jale.
Samyuktam ekatam yati.
Samyuktam ekatam yati.
Tatha atman yatman vin munihi. Tatha atman yatman vin munihi. Kshiram kshire yata kshiptam.
Kshiram kshire yatha kshiptam.
Tailam taile jalam jale.
Tailam taile jalam jale.
Samyuktam ekatam yati.
Samyuktam ekatam yati.
Tathatman yatma vinmunihi.
Atmanyatman muni.
See, this we have seen in Atma Bodham also. Same idea. Do you remember? We have seen this in Atma Bodham. Atma Bodham enna Swamiji? What is Atma Bodham? We have studied Atma Bodham a few days back. So, Kshiram Kshire, when the milk is poured into the milk. Tailam Taile, when the oil is poured into the oil. Jalam Jale, when water is poured into water, what happens? Nothing happens. Only the milk remains. Only the oil remains. Only the water remains. Because of this, they are the same nature. Is that not so? So the Brahman or the Ishvara and the Jiva or Atman, the self, they are one only. So as if the Jiva is merged in the self, but it is realized that it is one. What is one? The Brahma Tattvam and the Atma Tattvam is only one. Brahma Atma Ikya Bodha. So therefore, all this time we have been thinking that the world is huge and therefore the God, the Creator, somebody who is sitting somewhere, and I am poor Jiva suffering here. This is our idea. But when you realize the self, you know that there is nothing other than the self, like the world or somebody ruling it. Everything is self only. Like the milk is poured into the milk, oil into the oil, this Jiva abides in the self, glides into the self, and he becomes one with the self. And no Bheda whatsoever, difference whatsoever is perceived. So this is what explained in a dramatic way as you pour oil into oil. The total merger, even though it is not merger actually from the absolute standpoint, but still it is all for all practical purposes. It said the ego merges into the self. Actually the ego is a myth. Myth means what? It was never ever born. Like the ghost from the post. It was never ever born. But you see it. Therefore you get scared. When you don't, means when you stop seeing it, when you know it is only the post, then there is no ghost. So when you know you are only the self, there is no body mind, there is no ego self. Instead of saying that, for the practical purposes, for the easy understanding, it is said as if the ego merges with the self. See, this is also a Advaita Bhavana only, no? See, that is why people think the Mahatma, when he dies, his Atma goes and merges with Paramatma. Like it is said, no, the space, spot space merges with the universal space. So that is also, in a very practical sense only it is said, but not absolute. So in the TV interview, one young fellow asked me, Swamiji, Advaita Parama, you talk about Advaita, but what about something merges, the Jiva merging with the Lord and all? He was asking me. I told him, who told you? It's all myth. No, Jiva is not merging with the Lord. He was stunned because he has been told always, the Jiva merges with the Paramatma. I said, no, nothing like that. Nobody merges with anybody. Oh, what? He was asking. Yes, nobody merges with anybody. That is only the self. You misunderstand it to be something else. Then it is cleared. The misunderstanding is cleared. And now you know it is only the self. Bas. Full stop. This is Advaita Vedanta undiluted for you.
How can you do it in a time slot and a TV?
No, we were just having interview now.
Yeah.
Interview. He was asking.
This is a thing which is not there, has been for so long in time, creating all the havoc. But the time itself is the creation of the
Mind.
projection of the self.
Mind.
And this thing appears in time. So anything in time is...
Poor fellow was not knowing all those
No,
things.
you can't do it on TV, Swami.
No, he was asking, I was just replying. That's all. Evam videha kaivalyam sanmatratvam akhanditam brahma bhavam prapadhyaishaha yatirna vartate punaha evam videha kaivalyam sanmatratvam akhanditam brahma bhavam prapadhyaishaha yatirna vartate punaha. Sanmatratvam akhanditam. Sanmatratvam means what? It is the existence alone. Satmatratvam. It's pure existence alone. Akhanditam, which is unbroken, which is one without the second, where there is no duality of experiencer and experienced. Sanmatram akhanditam. Evam videha kaivalyam, where there is no body. Videha, there is no body. Kaivalyam, that state of aloneness, that alone remains. So, yeshaha yatihi, this yati, this sannyasi or this seeker, brahma bhavam prapadya. So, having attained to this state, it is called as brahma bhava. It is absolute state. Having attained to this state, na avartate punaha, he will not come back into this relative existence. Once when he has realized his true self, which is akhanda, infinite, and which is pure existence alone, which will not perish. And it is Ananda Swarupam, Akhandananda Rasa Swanubhuti. When that is realized in the heart, which is devoid of body, mind, etc., Videha, and that alone exists, that alone remains, Kevalam, that alone remains. If this is revealed, if this is known, when he is abiding, he becomes that Brahmabhuta. Brahmabhuta means the Brahman only, and he will never come back. Why he will never come back? There are no lokas where he can come back from his standpoint. And there is nobody who will go or come. All this is understood to be myth. There is a person who will come, who will go or who will come back is a myth. And there are worlds is a myth. The karma is a myth. In the Purnam there is no desire. So when there is nobody, when there are no lokas, when there is no desire, then what is the meaning of going and coming? See? So in the realization of the self, all these things are negated. The experiencer is negated. The experienced is negated. All the experiences are negated. So therefore there is no going, no coming. It is known that it is unborn, ever unborn. Ajaha, Nityaha, Shashvatoyam Puranaha. It is eternal. Puranaha, most ancient Purusha. Still he is Nava, he is very new. Though he is ancient, he is very fresh and new, as if every moment he is very new. Because he is not touched by time. So when you realize this in your heart, then definitely you will not come back again to suffer in this relative existence. Yat gatva na nivartante. Once you go forever, you don't come back. But this is actually scary. For ordinary people, it is very scary. At least now we know there is a world, or at least there are some worlds we believe so. So as a human or whatever, as a jiva, if I go there and enjoy or suffer, I can understand. But suddenly you say, I will disappear and I will not come back. What will happen to me? This is scary actually. And I remain as Brahman means I don't understand what it is. I remain as Brahman. Brahman means what? Even the very idea that the world will disappear is not comfortable, you know. I don't know, we don't think, that's why we are very comfortable. Enna sonnalu we are comfortable, because we don't think. When we think, it is very uncomfortable. When you say that you don't see anything, hear anything, feel anything, will I become a rock like or what? Is that a good existence or what? Is it a desirable existence or what? Then how will I be different from a rock? But you will enjoy Ananda. But I am not there to enjoy Ananda. Then what? Go and hang yourself. Meaning what? This is, beyond the mind. So you cannot fathom the depth of it. Therefore, all these doubts. But once you reach there, no doubt. It is Anandam. Therefore, there is no question of going, coming. It will not even occur. What will happen to me? It will never occur. Where will I go? Where will I come? It will never occur at all. So, it is absolutely out of the world experience. Cannot be compared to anything. Therefore, here when it is said Videha Kaivalyam, don't jump on it. He is talking about Videha Kaivalyam, Videha Kaivalyam. And here Guruji or Gurudev splits it into Videha and Kaivalyam. One without the body and one who is alone. Without upadhis, he is remaining alone. Such person will become Brahma Bhuta. He will not come back. How else it can be interpreted, When he attains to Videha Kaivalya, he merges with Brahman and he will not come back. This way also it can be interpreted. See, any way you can interpret. Here it is spoken about a Videha Kaivalyam, not Jivan Mukti, Videha Mukti. There he merges with the Brahman, he will not come back. So all these days what happened? He was not merging with Brahman. I don't know, little bit remaining, the body, mind. This is the problem. He said very clearly, the Mahatma has gone out. Only the skin of the snake is there, the snake has gone out. So the no more Mahatma available. So therefore who will die? The skin will die. From the absolute standpoint, even the skin is superimposed. Therefore, no skin even. No body, mind also. So if you think something like that, it is only Bahya Drishtya. From the onlooker standpoint only it is said about the Videha Mukti. So it is not I am trying to convince you. Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi again and again says that. You please read the Day by Day with Bhagavan. There are question and answers where he reveals so many things. That alone remains, nothing else. And if you attain to that state, there is no coming back. Sadatmaikatva Vijnana Vijnana Dagdha Vidyadi Varshmanaha Amushya Brahma Bhutadvad Brahmana Kuta Udbhavaha Sadatmaikatva Vijnana Dagdha Vidyadi Varshmanaha Amushya Brahma Bhutadvad Brahmana Kuta Udbhavaha. Sad Atma Ekatva Vijnana. Atma Ekatva Vijnana. Meaning what? The Brahman and Atman is one and the same. Ekatvam. This Vijnana Because of this knowledge, because of this anubhuti, dhagda avidyadi varshmanaha. All the avidya, along with all the three bodies, it is dagda, it is burnt. When this oneness is realized between the cosmos and yourself. When that oneness is realized, all the avidya and avidya karya, that is the body, mind, etc. Varshmanaha means sarirangal, different bodies. Everything is burnt to ashes. Amushya Brahma Bhudatvat Brahmanaha. Since he has realized the Brahman, he has become Brahman himself. There is no individual personality left anymore. There is only Brahman, meaning he has become Brahman himself, or he remains only as Brahman. Brahmanaha kuta udbhavaha. How can you say something will rise from Brahman? If you say something will rise from Brahman, then you have not understood anything about Brahman. Brahman is absolute, unchanging, without undergoing any modification. Therefore, if it is not undergoing any modification, how can you say something is coming out of it? See, it's absurd. If you accept that theory, that something is coming out of it, that will limit the Brahma Tattvam, the infinite Brahman. So it will perish, Brahman will perish. It is not so. But Swamiji, when I was in ignorance, how from Brahma Tattvam something came out first? Ignorance is that you are thinking that something has come out. That is ignorance. Oh, then ignorance has come out from Brahma Tattvam? This is a chakkar. Nothing can come out of Brahma Tattvam. Then how come the ignorance came? Ignorance has never come. Ignorance has never come. Yes. See, here Gurudev in his commentary says, now you may ask, but Swamiji, how was it first born? It never was. Then what am I now? Nothing, Maya. Then why should I struggle to realize? Don't struggle. Just be it. If you think you are other than it, then struggle by all means. But we know that you are not, for you are nothing but Brahman alone. Gurudev says. So, we catch hold of everything and ask questions. We are good at asking questions. We don't try to find answers within, but we want to ask questions. What is the question? How come the first body came? How come the first vasana arrived? And how come the ignorance was born from the Brahman? All this is only your imagination. Stop imagining, get out of this samsara. You are the Brahman, full stop. Don't go on arguing, asking questions. See, when Gurudev Swami Chinmayanji asked too many questions about Maya and Avidya, then Swami Tapon asked, have you come here to study about Brahman or Maya or Avidya? What do you want to know actually? Brahman or Avidya? No, I want to know about Brahman. Then know Brahman and get out of it. Chumma, don't ask too much about it, because it is said it's anirvachaniya. See, Maya is said anirvachaniya. You cannot describe it. Ya Masa Maya, which is not is Maya. Yes. Which is not is creating all this havoc. என்ன சுவாமிஜி கொஞ்சமாவது புரியுற மாதிரி சொல்லுங்களேன். இது புரியாது. அப்புறம் ஏன் சொல்கிறீங்க? டைம் பாஸ். நான் வேறு என்ன தான் சரி, சாப்பிட்ட சாப்பாடு செரிக்க வேண்டாமா? When you eat something, it has to be digested. No? So you have to talk. நாங்கள் தான் கிடைச்சோமா அதுக்கு? Yeah.
Maya and Brahman.
Yes. And the world also is anirvachaniya.
Everything.
Because it cannot come out. How it has come out? So everything is anirvachaniya. அப்படின்னு சொல்லி 580 verses he has given. Saying anirvachaniya, anirvachaniya, he has given 581 verses. He is a master, na?
He's compassionate.
Like our TV anchors or radio anchors.
No,
they go on talking, but what? Nothing. No, I'm not just chumma comparing. Don't take it seriously. Don't take it literally. He is something else. But from the absolute standpoint, the same. I really wonder, I really appreciate. It's an art. You talk for 15-20 minutes and then you think about it, you have not conveyed anything. Is it not an art? these TV jockeys, the radio jockeys, and we should tell Abhi, have 20 minutes they talk, and then nothing comes out of it. What they were talking, if you think, nothing. It's not wonderful. Swami, you are also doing the same. Because nothing makes sense to us. You are talking for 45 days.
Vidya and Swami, the nicest part is you are entertained while they talk.
That's what I'm saying. You are entertained. And beautiful words they use, the play of words. See, last time when we had come to the Sri Lanka for a camp, Indians had come. There was one fellow who was sort of a jockey. And we asked him to speak. And beautiful Tamil. Blah, 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 blah. He was talking 15 minutes. But nothing conveyed. That is why we have to go beyond words. That is silence. Maunam Vyakhya Prakatita Para Brahma Tattvam. So, all these things, it is like chakkar, go round and round and round you. Why? If you ask where from the ego has come, where from the ignorance has come, then you say, it has never come. If it has not come, then why I am suffering? You ask yourself, why are you asking me? You are suffering and you are asking me why I am suffering. You should know better why you are suffering. See? And you come and ask me, who am I really? Tell me, Swamiji. It's enough bamba poch. How can I tell you who you are? You should know better. This is very unfair, you know. You come and ask everything to a Swami. Who am I, Swamiji? Why? Dementia to you? You have forgotten everything. So this is fascinating actually, if you think about it. Maya kliptau bhanda mokshau
Maya kripto banda moksho
nastasvatmani vastutaha
Nastasvatmani vastutaha
yatha rajjau nishkriyayam
Yatha rajyo nishkriyayam
sarpabhasa vinirghamau
Sarvabhasa vinirgamo
Maya kliptau bhanda mokshau
Maya kripto banda moksho
nastasvatmani vastutaha
Nastasvatmani vastutaha
yatha rajjau nishkriyayam
Yatha rajyo nishkriyayam
sarpabhasa vinirghamau.
Sarvabhasa vinirgamo
Both bandha, the bondage, and moksha, the liberation, both are conjured up by the Maya only. Maya kliptaha. Kliptahu means what? Conjured up by Maya only. Nastaha swatmani vastutaha. There is neither bondage nor liberation in reality. Vastutaha means in reality, there is nothing called as bondage or liberation. For that, he gives a beautiful example. See, these Mahatmas, where from they get all these examples, we don't know. See what he says? Sarpa abhasa vinirghamau yatha rajjau. Poor thing, the rope, is lying there innocently, not aware of anybody or anything. And then sarpa abhasa, the sarpa appears in it. And then and vinirghamau, sarpa goes, the snake goes. It has got nothing to do with the rope. Appearing of the snake and disappearing of the snake has got nothing to do with the rope because it is vinishkriyayam. Absolutely, it is without any change, modification, without any movement. He is there. Summa demen pavama advat irukku. The rope. But the appearance, abhasa or vinirghama, the disappearance of the snake, where is it? If you go and ask the rope, Hare, you created a snake and then you withdrew it. Why did you do it? What are you talking? I never created anything. And you withdrew it. Why? I never created anything, I never withdrew anything. Then I don't know what you are talking actually. So when you ask the self about this world, creation and the jivas, you will not know anything. What are you talking? I don't know anybody. I don't know any world. I know only myself. Even I don't know myself. Wait. I don't know myself as an object. So, therefore, from the standpoint of the rope, there is no appearance or disappearance of the snake. Therefore, from the standpoint of absolute Brahman, the true self, there is no question of bandha or moksha. So, for some time, for some reason, you feel you are bound. Swamiji, we don't feel. You only always superimpose bondage on us. We feel we are free only. தெரியாதனமா இந்த கேம்ப் கோர்ஸுக்கு வந்துட்டோம் நாங்க. From the day one you are saying you are bound, you are bound, and you have to get liberated. So you do this, you have to do that, and then finally you say there was no bondage, no liberation. விளையாட்டா இருக்கா உங்களுக்கு? See?
You never said you are bound.
I never said.
You just told shut up. Go hang yourself.
Hang yourself.
Yeah, just die your own death there. Very sweetly.
No, but you know, Shankara said, na, yes, Shishya coming and saying, Konama bandho kutameva agataha. Oh dear teacher, what is this bondage? Where from it has come?
Yes, yes.
How to, throw away, how to remove this bondage, all those things he asked. Yeah. So now he is saying, Beta, there is nothing called as bondage or liberation actually. So therefore, don't worry about bondage. You are ever liberated. So it is very disappointing. At least if you say there is liberation, there will be a sense of achievement. We have achieved liberation. We have become Brahmajnanis. But they take away everything. In fact, there was nothing called as bondage, so you are never liberated. Adum pocha? Adum poch. So what remains is your own self. That you are there always. Then what have you achieved now? You realize that how stupid you were. Do you want to talk about it? Better don't talk about it. Because how to tell everybody that how stupid I was? Imagining so many things for no reason. So vastutaha, in reality, there is nothing called as bandha or moksha. This example given is very effective. Vastutaha, in the rope, never ever a snake vision was born or it has gone away. It was remaining as the rope only. Then the onlooker, for some reason, he thought it was a snake. And then he understood it was never a snake. So for his problem, how can the rope be blamed? So Brahmatattvam remains as it is. Swami, once again I ask you, from where the ignorance has come? Tell me. You cannot escape now. Now you have to tell me where the ignorance has come. Now you ask where from the I thought is rising. You will know the answer. You say, no, my ignorance or my enlightenment, I am suffering. You ask from where the I thought is coming. And you find out the source, then you will get the answer for this. Where the ignorance has come. You will find that ignorance has never come. That is the realization. Then why was I suffering? Ask who is suffering. Who has suffered? Who is suffering? If you go, nobody suffers. Then what is all this? Then we have to say, shut up. What is all this, you ask? Shut up. Nothing can be said about it. It's mysterious. So you realize the self and then be blissful and happy. That is all. What else you want? At the end of the day, you want to be blissful. You want to be fearless. No fear, no desire, and no sorrows, no grief. That is what you are seeking, na? That is what you are, and be there. That's it. Why do you want to go on asking questions? Because buddhi itself is conjured up by Maya. And whatever you understand through buddhi is only Maya karya. So Maya itself is very mysterious, cannot be understood. It is nothing but Brahman only. There is nothing called as Maya, separate from Brahman. So therefore abide in the Brahman and forget about everything. This is the ultimate message given by the Vedanta Shastra. Avrute sadasattvabhyam vaktavye bandha mokshane navrutir brahmana kachid anya bhavadanaavrutam yadyastadvaitaha nisyad dvaitam no sahate shrutihi avrute sadasattvabhyam vaktavye bandha mokshane navrutir brahmana kachid anya bhavadanaavrutam yadyastadvaitaha nisyad dvaitam no sahate shrutihi avrutehe sad asatvabhyam vaktavye bandha mokshane. Avrutehe means the veil, the veiling. Avarana. That's called avrutehe. Sad, it is there. Asad, it is not there. So in one point of time it is said that avarana, that veil is there. Sad, that is called as bandha, the bondage. And in another point of time it is said it is not. So that is called as moksha. You understand? When the avarana is there, it is considered to be bandha. When the avarana is removed, let us say, it is not there, then it is called as moksha. You understand this much? Avarana means what? The self alone is. Somehow, the knowledge of the self is not. So it is said, avritam means what? It is as if veiled. So when it is as if veiled, it is called as bondage. And when the veil is as if removed, it is called as moksha. Okay? Na avritihi brahmanaha kachid. But in Brahma, the truth, the absolute truth, Brahman, this avarana is not possible. Why? Anya abhavat anavritam. Because there is nothing other than Brahman. Anya abhavat. There is nothing other than Brahman in Brahma Tattvam. Therefore, anavritam, always, never ever it was covered. Never ever it was shining only. Never ever it was covered. If you accept yad asti dvaitahani, advaitahani, if you accept that, yes, the covering is there, something called as Maya has covered. If you accept a second thing, apart from Brahman, if you accept something else, then Advaita Hani, the Advaita will be gone. Meaning what? You accept something else as reality. Then there are two realities, means each will limit each other, and then both will die, both will perish. So you cannot accept this Vadam. Dvaitam no sakate Shrutihi. And the Shruti, the Vedas, they will never tolerate this idea that the Brahma Tattvam, Satyam, will perish, or there is Dvaita in this absolute self. This is not acceptable to the scriptures. See, step by step you have to understand. What is bondage? When you say the self is covered, avrutam, is called as bondage. What is liberation? When that veil, the covering is removed, it is called as liberation. But now the question is, Can the Brahman be covered by what? It can never be covered because there is nothing other than the Brahman there. So the veiling is not possible. Therefore, bondage is never ever. Bondage is not possible. If bondage is not possible, what to talk about liberation? If you accept bondage, then where from it has come? It is Maya Kritam. What is Maya? If you accept Maya as a second thing, then Advaita Hani, the non-dual self is lost. What does it mean? It means something else is there to limit this Brahmatattvam. Whatever is limited will perish. The Maya also will perish, Brahman also will perish. Then that is not acceptable to the scripture because the scripture talks about something which is not perishable. Very clearly they talk about it. So if you accept Shruti Vakya, this is the Atma, the self, the Brahmatattvam, which is the Atma, the self, is imperishable, you cannot accept the second one. If you accept second, it is contradictory. It will perish. So if you don't accept the second one, if only there is Brahman, the absolute, which will not change, which never undergoes any modification, it is the same ever, infinite, then where from the veil has come? If it is pure knowledge, where from the ignorance has come? How can it come? Who has brought it? Brahman itself is absolute, without any modification, without any desire, or without any vritti. So you cannot say, Brahman desired, may I become many, so it has become. All this, in the Kadayallang inge vida vendam. Or Swamiji, Upanishad statement, Swamiji. See, Upanishad also has got Mukhya and Gauna. Mukhya means primary meaning you have to take and secondary meaning. All these things are brought out only to convince you that there is no world, not to establish there is a world. So therefore, if you accept Maya other than Brahman as a second thing, reality, then it is abattam, it is anartham. Why? The Brahman will perish. It is not acceptable to the scripture. Therefore, ignorance cannot be accepted. The veiling cannot be accepted. Therefore, don't accept the veiling. Don't think you are bound. This is the problem. Don't think you are bound. Don't think you are limited. Don't think you will die. Don't think you are suffering. Don't think you are enjoying. Don't think. That's it. Don't think. That is why the thing is, yen in the sankalpam. Why you imagine unnecessarily? This yen in the sankalpam is such a significant statement. Yen in the sankalpam. Why you imagine unnecessarily? So this is the real punch, the last punch in the boxing ring, The last punch is given. What is the last punch? Knockout punch, correct. Knockout. What is this knockout punch? Hare Rama, there is no bondage. This bondage itself is imagined. But there cannot be any scope for imagination. So imagination itself imagined. Wait. Ayyo, tala suttudu. From another standpoint, only everything is there. But in this standpoint, there is nothing. How you correlate with these two standpoints, you need not. Just leave it. And you be there in the higher standpoint. And the buddhi will not leave it. I want to understand. The Heisenberg equation is there. There are two different frames of reference. So how to understand both? There is an equation. Na? There is an equation, they say. I forgot the exact name. Heisenberg chuma sonne. So some equation is there in the generality of relativity. How to understand both the frame of reference. But here, no need to understand. You just be the self. That is why it is said Purnamadha Purnamidam.
Yes.
Purnat Purnamudachyate. Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Nothing has happened. Because of the creation, Purnam has not become anything. Because of destruction, Purnam has not lost anything. Purnam remains as a Purnam. Then what has happened? Nothing. But I saw, you saw. Why did you see? Stop seeing. So, therefore nothing has come out, nothing has gone back. It remains the same. So, the world was never born, it will never perish. Because it was never born in the first place, how can it perish? The question of it will perish itself is stupid. Because it was never born in the first place. So, the avidya is not, the ignorance is not, bondage is not. இப்படி நீங்கள் புலம்பிட்டே இருங்க சுவாமிஜி, ஏதாவது பிரயோஜனம் இருக்கா? In the practical sense, if you go on talking like this, is there any prayojanam? No, if you take it seriously, there is prayojanam. If you don't take it seriously, if you take it as a joke, there is no prayojanam. See, this is what in Ulladu Narpadu Bhagavan makes it clear. Even the Bandha Sindai. Bandha Sindai means the idea that I am bound is false, he says. Mukti Sindai Munnirkumo. If the Bandha Sindai itself is false, what is the talk of Mukti Sindai? What is the talk about Mukti, liberation? So find out who is bound first. You are talking about bondage in an elaborate fashion and you want to find out how you can be liberated. Now you find out, are you bound? Who is bound? Find out who is bound. Then it is revealed that nobody is bound. That's it. So the ego creates everything in between. And the ego can never arise. Because in the Brahman there is no body mind. There cannot be any identification. So ego can never rise. But ego is rising. Can never create a world, it is creating. There can never be any vasanas, there are vasanas. So likes and dislikes. There can be never any samsara, there is samsara. There can be never any suffering, there is suffering. But if you inquire into the source of all, everything collapses. This is why we have to inquire into the source of everything, source of all thoughts, source of all imagination. The source of all thought is the I, Nangrapai. That if you inquire, everything is taken away. So this Advaita Jnanam is really churning, it's a churning. If you really churn it properly, like butter, the true knowledge is revealed. But it takes time, because it's all confusing now. Ellam konjam puriyirama Swamiji, when you said Anatma and then Atma, we should not get attached to Anatma, then Atma, abide in the Atma. Ellam purinjite vanduchu. Then we are back to square one, not even square one, -1. And now you say there is no need to do, there is no bondage, no liberation. Then what we need to do now? Go back home, eat, sleep, enjoy. Watch TV, watch football, cricket, watch some movies, hear some good songs, enjoy. Don't suffer. So our Acharya ji has found out the bottom line is Mauj mein raho. Mauj mein raho. Just be happy, don't worry about anything. Be happy to be happy. Wise enjoy, otherwise suffer. The wise one enjoys, the otherwise suffer. So therefore don't be otherwise, be wise. மனசை அலட்டிக்கிறதுக்கு இங்கே ஒன்றுமே கிடையாது. தட் இஸ் த ஃபைனல் திங். எதையுமே கண்டுக்க தேவையில்லை, எல்லாம் பொய். Why didn't he look at me? Why didn't he smile at me? He is a crack, leave him alone. He is a crack. He is a, ISI Muthai Kuttanam crack he is. Why should you worry about him? Somebody is a crack. Why should you be bothered? And why should you disturb your peace? See, this is what I am telling you. See, somebody is a crack. Why should you disturb your peace of mind? Why he is not doing this? Why? Baba, he is a crack. Leave him alone. And you be happy. But we cannot leave it alone. That is the problem. I will not leave it. Okay, suffer. When I suffer, Swamiji, something happens, blah, 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 blah. Yes, everything will happen if you suffer, because you are putting unnecessary pressure on your nerves. Every nerves you are putting unnecessary pressure for no reason. For somebody's fault, why you should suffer? This is my question. For somebody's fault, why you should suffer? If somebody is not good to you, why should you suffer?
Because I am cracked.
Yeah, we are also cracked. We are also cracked. That person is also a crack, I am also a crack. All cracks coming together, there is a big crack.
Now we are putting the position of punishing yourself.
Huh.
Somebody else's mistake.
That's what I am saying. Why you punish yourself for somebody else's mistake? Why you want to suffer for somebody else's problem? Everybody has got a problem in this world. Nobody is perfect. Now only you said Brahman, there is nothing. So that is all there. But in the Vyavahara, if you see the people, everybody has got their own personality, their own problems, shortcomings. Whatever garb they are in, sannyasi or a samsari, whoever it is. See, the Brahman or the realized Mahatmas are very, 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 very rare. Don't equate everybody as realized Mahatma. Don't expect too much from everybody. So, why should you punish yourself for somebody else's mistake? Just don't worry. That is God who will take care of everything. That is the self, which is Ananda. Abide in it. Don't worry about anything. Discount everybody. Discount everybody. Yourself also. That is very important. If you discount yourself, everybody is discounted already. This is the technique, Bhagavan's technique. If you are discounted yourself, everybody is discounted already. So, this mind will say, why this happened, why that happened, why that person is not good to me, this person is very, unfair to me, this, that. But Swamiji, we can forget about everything. But are we not responsible to bring up our children in a very nice way, good way, give good samskaras and make them the best citizens? Are you the best citizen? No. Then if you are not, how can you make him a best citizen? See, when you have sown the mango, only mango will come out. Tenga will not come out. Coconut will not come out. So don't worry, he will be like that. Because he has come out of you. How can he be with something else wonderful? Why are you imagining? And every parent imagine, Swamiji, my child is something unique, Swamiji. I see some divinity in that child. No. This Maya playing. This child is stupid. You are seeing divinity. What? It is a stupid child become out because of its own vasanas to exhaust its own karmas here. And you are the scapegoat. It has come out through you. And you say, I see some divinity in it. It is very unique. This is how you get bound. And it's my own child, Swamiji. Other children, let them go to dog. This child is my own. I tell you, all nonsense. Everything is same or nothing is there. You take either of these two standpoints. Don't give unnecessary, exaggerated value to anything. Then you get caught and you suffer. Everything is Maya or everything is Brahman. Take these two, any one of these two standpoints. So therefore when you accept the avriti, the covering or the veil, then you accept something else other than Brahman, which cannot be accepted by the Shrudis, because it's Advaya, it is non-dual. Therefore, there is no bondage, there is no liberation, you all can go home. Bandhancha mokshancha mrusheva moodaha Buddher gunam vastuni kalpayanti.
Gunam vastuni kalpayanti.
Drighavrutim mega kritam yatharavau.
Drighavrutim mega kritam yatharavau.
Yato dvaya sanga chidetadaksharam.
Yato dvaya
Sanga.
chidetadaksharam.
So bandhansha mokshamsha mrisha eva. So this bandha and moksha both are mrisha. Both are illusions. Both are not. Mudaha buddher gunam vastuni kalpayanti. These fools, mudaha, they attribute the buddhi dharma onto the self. This bondage and liberation is buddhi dharma. Buddhi means what? Not Buddha dharma. Buddhi. It is all the mind. Imaginations of the mind. Buddhi dharma. And that is attributed on the self. Like what? See, this is how it is important. Like what? Like megha kritam drugavrutim yatha ravau. When there is a cloud, that is obstructing your vision. And you say the sun is obscure, some sun is covered. See, drugavrutim, the mega means the cloud. What they are doing? They are obstructing your vision. You are unable to see the sun. And you say the sun is hidden. What a joke. How can the sun be hidden by a small cloud? You know what sun? 10 times or whatever they say more than the earth. Earth, how big it is?
1,000 times.
1,000 times, huh?
More than that.
I don't know exactly. So it's so big. Then the earth is really huge. So this cloud is here, just here. It is not even, 0.1, very fraction of it. Not even a fraction. Negligible. So how can this cloud, and sun is, where is it? Somewhere it is. It has got nothing to do with the mega. And you have that audacity to say, the cloud has obstructed the sun or veiled the sun. Baba, you are standing somewhere else. Your vision is obscured. It is not the fault of the sun. Sun is shining bright. And the irony is the cloud is created by the sun. And it obstructs the sun from our vision. So therefore, sun is ever shining. Nobody can hide the sun. You become the sun and see it. When you are away from the sun, then you may talk, the sun is hidden or not hidden. You go to the sun and you will be burnt. So you go there and see. There is nothing called as cloud from the standpoint of the sun. So nothing called as obstruction. So therefore, drigavritim megakritam yatha ravo yato advaya asanga chid etad aksharam. So this parabrahmam is what? Advaya, non-dual, asanga, unattached, chid, pure consciousness, etad aksharam. Aksharam means what? Which will not perish. So therefore, this Parabrahma, Paramatma can never be covered by anything, cannot be hidden. It is your own dosha. You are unable to see him. Your vision is obscured by the tiny cloud because you are standing away from the sun. When you go to the sun, when you are one with the sun, then you know the sun cannot be covered by anything. It shines always in its own glory. Similarly, when you are one with the Parabrahma, Paramatma Tattva, you know there was never ever bondage or liberation. No one was suffering. No one is realized. So this is the Paramartha Tattva. This also is going to reveal towards the end. There are a few more shlokas now. He is going to reveal towards the end. So we will stop it here. Om Purnamadha Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.